With the new normal comes a reinvention of business and social protocols, says our next guest. So, what's the new normal in etiquette in a post-lockdown world? Ginny Villegas is a certified image and etiquette consultant and managing director of Flair Image Consultancy. She is also president-elect of the Association of Image Consultants Philippine Chapter Board. Good to see you, Ginny. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're most welcome. So give us a refresher. What's the new normal etiquette of greeting each other now that the lockdown is over and as we're likely to engage with more people outside our homes?
Yes, all right. Because traditionally, the most proper way of greeting in a business setting would be through the handshake. But now, as we avoid touching physical contact, then we have to be very creative of other ways of greeting people. One very accepted way now is through the elbow bump, right? Instead of extending your hand, you just extend your elbow to the person you're meeting. And also another way is the traditional Japanese way of bowing low from the waist down. And in our own country, we have this custom of bowing our heads when you meet someone to show respect, and so we can do that. We also would like to recommend the Indian way of the namaste, that is putting your hand over your heart when you greet someone. So those are alternatives to the traditional way of greeting in a business setup. Of course, since beso-beso, as we do it in the Philippines, will not be practiced in a long time, then we can also adopt these ways when we meet our family members and our friends. So that's what I want to share about greeting.
Yeah, it's going to take some practice, but it's nice to just pick out on different cultures there, especially the low bow. Well, thankfully, I've lived in Japan for 4 years. I'm kind of used to that.
Oh, yes.
But what do you do
Yes.
if someone reaches out with a handshake, perhaps out of forgetfulness? How do you refuse it without embarrassing the other? What's the etiquette for that?
Well, now, because this global pandemic is something very much in our minds, maybe perhaps if someone does that, it's just, because he or she has forgotten at the moment. So with a lot of graciousness, you can smile and bow deeply if you want the Japanese way, or the way we do it in the Philippines, nod our head. And I guess the person will not be offended, no, given the health risks we have nowadays.
Right, that's going to take some practice too, and
Yes.
avoid running away from an instance when that happens. Now, what if you feel like a series of sneezing is going to happen, and you're
Oh.
inside the elevator? Let's say that happens. What do? Do you step out of the next floor the lift opens up to, or would you, like, around the crook of your arm, around your nose, and sneeze?
Well, there are many options. It's always good to have your handkerchief or tissue paper, Kleenex handy. So in case we have a sneeze, we feel like sneezing, we can easily do it discreetly and in a very hygienic manner. That's one way. Another way is if we're really concerned about how we could affect people, then we step out and wait for the next turn, the next lift upwards. So those are just awesome options we can consider.
Okay, so what's the option for laughing out loud? Say you're really in a great conversation and you want to just laugh out loud. You want to express yourself, but you don't want to offend the other for putting him or her at risk to one's droplets.
Well, for one, maybe if you're in the office, you're traveling and you're laughing like loud out, but you have your mask on, there's really no problem about that, no? But of course, if you don't have your mask on, then it's a matter also of relearning, right? Relearning our habits and toning down a little, because we have to be mindful of the others. I guess these days the buzzword would be mindfulness of the health and safety of others as we go about our day-to-day duties and work.
Yeah, I don't want people calling me killjoy because I'm not laughing at their jokes. But what do you do
Oh, I see.
with the face mask and the face shield? When to put them on, when to take them off? Say you're just about to dine. Do you remove as you wait for your food, or do you keep yourself covered until the food is served on the table?
Well, it depends, Kathy. If you're just at home and you can remove it as soon as you're there at table. It also depends if you're visiting a friend or another family member. And well, most likely, as before the other guests come, you can already remove it as long as you know that you're okay, you're healthy, you're not going to offend anyone. Then before the meal, you can already remove your mask or your face shield.
So really the new mandate is just thinking about the rights and being considerate of others. Reason why one takes all these precautions. So it's not about the person next to you, but about you
Yes.
and how you can keep yourself from
Yes.
possibly putting others at risk.
That's right. That's right. Because if we go back to the traditional etiquette, it is really based on consideration, respect, and honesty. And that I quote from the authority of etiquette, Emily Post. Now, it has always been that way. Human dignity and nature will always be the same. What would change are the circumstances we're in, and of course, something like this that had disrupted all our activities, the pandemic. But thanks to technology, it's so easy also to keep in touch with others. And there are many creative ways of reinventing our social decorum and our way of doing business.
Do we ever get to hug again? I mean, Filipinos who grew up in a very high-touch culture would certainly find some form of it down the road in the new normal, hopefully.
Well, I guess if you're really assured of your health, that you're in good health, and the person you're meeting, I guess with your family members it's possible, but with others like your friends, your colleagues, then I think caution has still to be the rule, the caution. And they will understand why. It's really this kind of caution is really care for others.
Right. It's still a balancing act
It's a new
between the
way of
risk and
expressing
rewards.
our
That's,
concern. Yes.
yeah, that's true. Just expressing oneself with caution and care, and always
Yeah.
being reminded that we're doing it for the person in front of us. Thank you, Ginny.
Yes.
I appreciate all the advice, creative as it may be. Something I have to get used to so far. Ginny Villegas, certified image and etiquette consultant, joining us live.